Okay, let's get started. All right. So, good morning and welcome to the Early Career Scientist Symposium on the topic of phenotypic plasticity. I am so excited to see so many faces here, especially at 8:45 on a Saturday morning. And really thrilled about the program we have ready for you today. We have some really fabulous early career speakers who've flown in from all over the country to share their stories with you. To get us started, I wanted to just sort of spend a minute with these words from Mary Jane West Eberhardt, which I'll go ahead and read to you. um, the environment is not only the agent of selection, in the sense of being the arena where different phenotypes achieve different degrees of survival and reproductive success. It is also an agent of development, which importantly influences the range of phenotypes that will be produced by a given genotype. So I love this quotation by Mary Jane West Eberhardt because I think it beautifully disentangles the distinct ways that environments might shape phenotypes, both as kind of the container in which organisms do all their developing and expressing of a genetic program, and also as the filter that chooses which of those organisms get to pass genes on to the next generation. So today we're going to hear about environments as agents of development over and over again from Laura Stein, from Ben Parker, from Holly Muller, and Claire Ritchoff. But we'll also hear about the environment as an agent of selection from Yuheng Huang, Cameron Gallambor, and Juana Carha. But today we're also actually going to add another dimension in that we'll think about how plasticity can feed back to shape the environments that organisms are doing their development in, sort of via the niche construction that Daniel Schwab will speak about, and also the trait-mediated effects on ecological processes that Karen Burghardt is sharing. So I'm thrilled to hear what they all have to say, and want to start by just highlighting these two people, Dr. Nancy William Walls and David Bay, who are responsible for us being here today. Nancy William Walls was a microbiologist trained at University of Michigan. She went on to be one of the first female faculty members at the Georgia Institute of Technology. And she helped to establish what was called the Young Investigators Symposium about 13 years ago. Then more recently, support for the symposium comes from the David Bay Photography Fund. David Bay was a much beloved photographer at large for 34 years for the department. And a fund established in his name is helping to fund us today. So I believe our chair, Dear Midfogel, will have a few more words about them later on in the afternoon, but I just wanted to highlight their contributions to get us started. So today, here's our itinerary. We'll have 3 talks in the morning, followed by a coffee break, then 2 more talks. At noon, we'll actually invite our morning speakers back up to hold a discussion so that we can invite people to ask questions you don't get time to have answered during that panel, or we can have sort of a broader, more synthetic discussion. We'll see what comes up. And in the afternoon, we have 3 great talks, followed by a coffee break, then our 2 last speakers, including our keynote address. We'll have a final panel discussion and then move on to the Natural History Museum for more conversation over drinks and snacks tonight. Speakers for the afternoon, please make sure that you come up and get your talks loaded during the lunch and poster session. We have decided we're going to give you a 5-minute warning and then no 1-minute warnings, because I hear that's what you've requested. But if you run out of time, we will stand up. Sonal, Mary, and I think, are responsible for that, and we are very fierce, so please don't run over time. If the speaker leaves time for questions right after their talk, we'll circulate some microphones so we make sure we capture your questions. We are recording today, so if that changes anything, just I want to let you know. If we don't have time for questions following a talk, there will be an opportunity to ask those questions at the panel discussion. So other details, we have a ladies' and men's restroom on this floor just around the corner here. There's a gender-inclusive restroom on the 3rd floor. The Natural History Museum is just around the corner. There are maps on the back of the programs out on the registration table if you need help getting there. Let's see, what else do I need to tell you? Oh, finally, at the end of the day, if we run out of time and you still want to keep talking, I think we're going to plan and gather after the reception at MASH on 2011 East Washington Street, where you can buy your own drinks and keep talking. And then before we get started, I just want to let you know that we're actually trying a new experiment this year. So we have a coffee break assignment for you. So out in the hall, there's a big sheet of paper and some Post-it notes and markers. If you have questions that come up during the talk or sort of more general things that you'd like to discuss on the panel, we invite you to write those questions on a Post-it note or on the piece of paper, and we'll make an effort to sort of collect those ideas and sort of inquiries and bring them into the panel discussion. So this is one way to get more voices in the room in conversation. So thank you for being here. I think Mary is now going to introduce our first speaker.